Good day, everyone. Hope you're enjoying the cart games so far. We have an interview here with Team LS, joined by the members Saku and Fine Day. How are you guys doing?
Not good, maybe.
Yeah, I know it's pretty late over there, but I did have a few questions, but let's say with the main one, I'm pretty sure a lot of viewers will rightfully assume that you guys have very good taste in weapon choice. So, Team LS is for longsword. Why do you love that weapon so much?
なんでだろうな。I don't know why. さくさんわかる？なんか思いつきます。
武器が使えなくて、タッチだけ使えたからタッチしか使ってない。
And me too, maybe.
And if there, I don't believe there's going to be a chance, but any alternative if by some chance there isn't a longsword, or you guys have to pivot, or are you just fully dedicated to longsword all the way?
Yes.
Oh, that is fair. I'm also curious too, just how did you two meet to form the team? Was it just you guys knew each other from playing Monster Hunter, you know, I'm assuming for years like a lot of us, you know, big dedicated fans, but was it just that, or were you guys just trying to find, you know, online someone else to team up with for this event?
そうですね。お互い知ってて、でサックさんがドカパンさんに声をかけてもらって誘ってもらえたからって感じですね。
Ah, okay. Makes sense. Then I guess when it comes to this event, so I myself am a casual player of Monster Hunter, but I've never considered competing in any kind of event. Is there anything you guys do to, I guess, get in the right mindset for competing? Do you practice a bunch? Is there certain monsters that maybe, you know, you're not used to that you really try to focus in on? What's the mindset going in?
我々タチしか使えないんで、タチ以外の武器使えるようにしてるって感じですね。We cannot use, we just can use longsword, and to be able to use weapons other than longsword.
Gotcha. So it's more so just getting an idea of what other players might use as well. I know that's a big factor. Is there any monsters that you don't look forward to using? Since I know with longsword, it's a very much so counter-based. You know, you have to know the monster's patterns and what they're going to do and counter accordingly. Is there any that you find trouble with?
私はイソネミクニアシュですね。オーロラサムナキャンプでサクさんはバルストラックス、Riseバルストラックス。
I agree with that, especially Valstrax. That one gives me a hard time. I'm curious too, between the both of you, is there anyone that's a bit more of a risk taker, or someone that, you know, follows the script and goes, no, I'm going to do this right off the bat as an opener? You know, is there any sort of like contrast between the two of your playstyles in any way?
そんなに変わんないんですけど、若干私の方がリスク取るタイプですかね。
Makes sense, because usually, well, I guess there's only this is kind of a general thing to say. There's only so many different ways you can play longsword, despite how great the weapon is, you know. It makes sense. When it comes to the runs themselves, is there anything you guys try to account for when it comes to, let's say, the AI of the monster? Because I know when I've tried to do solo runs, it's a lot more controlled. You know exactly what they're going to do. You know where they're always going to be facing. When it comes to doing team events like this, do you just try to assume the monster is going to go for the other player, or how do you go about accounting for that?
そうです。ちょっと今2人で一緒にやってるのはタチだけなんで練習できてるのタチだけなんですけど、基本的に位置を同じ場所にやるように普段からプレイしてるので、シャガルとか克服シャガルとかで練習してるので、それをうまいこと使えたらいいなと思ってますね。ちょっとまだやってないんでわからないっていうのが正直なところですけど、他の武器だったら別に 誘導はあんまりしないかなとは思ってますかね。多分片方ずつ狙われてる間に攻撃するっていうのをメインにやるかなと思ってます。
Gotcha. Staying close makes sense. So that way, it's still relatively going to be the same where it's going to aim. That makes complete sense. As a general question, because I'm very curious about this, since I started in Monster Hunter 3 Ultimate, but what was the first game for you guys that really hooked you in? Was there one in particular that, you know, maybe you started with, but the next sequel really sold you, by any chance?
Saku's first game was Monster Hunter Rise, and my first game was Monster Hunter 3 Try, and I returned to the series with Monster Hunter Rise after a long break since 3 Ultimate. The gameplay has changed significantly.
Yeah, there's a lot of crazy stuff that Rise did, especially with the wire bug. It's
Yes.
part of me kind of hopes it comes back, but I know it's like, you know, it comes and goes with the series. That's why every single one is distinct in its own way. Though that kind of makes me curious then. So you took a long break and then came back with Rise. Was there any reason Rise was the one that sold you? Was it that it was on Switch? Was it the new mechanics? I'm just really curious.
I just was students, so I cannot play. I like the system of the Monster Hunter Rise.
Let's just imagine this hypothetically.
Uh-huh.
Get up in the morning. You gotta compete for this event. What's your morning routine? Aside from, you know, the usual morning routine, like, you know, do you listen to like any music? Do you do a few practice runs? Do you do anything in particular, or do you just go in confident knowing I've done all I can? We just have to do it, and just go in and don't let it take up, you know, the rest of your day beforehand.
特にはないかな。サックさんあります？
結構時間があるときはひたすら一人で練習するくらいかな。
そうね。
あんまりパインデイさんと一緒にこう時間をとって練習っていうのがなかなかできないから、一人でとりあえず1秒でも早く倒せるように練習しているって感じですかね。
そうですね。あんまりルーティンはないですね。仕事してるんでちょっと難しい時が若干最近忙しくなりがちで、まあでもせっかく出られるんでやれるだけやろうかなと。
Completely understandable. Work definitely cuts into a lot of that stuff. When it comes to going into competitions like this, do you guys ever get nervous, or do you just go in there confident? You know, is there anything, I guess, currently that you're still trying to improve, or do you think you've done everything you could?
私は緊張しますね。サックさんどう？
するんだ。いや、
私
せっかくこういうイベントに参加できる機会がもらえたから、私はもう楽しむっていうスタンスでやっていけたらなって思ってますね。
なるほどね。まあレベルなんかこううまくしたいこととしては他の武器種かな。まあでも一番はやっぱタチかな。タチちゃんとうまく走れたいかな。タチのクエストをねちゃんと我々はうまくやれたらなって思ってますかね。
It makes sense. Part of me feels like I wish I could be like Saku-san, but I relate more to Fine Day. As someone entering any competitive event, I would be anxious. I hope everything goes the way it should. For sure. So then I have a general fun question. It's too obvious that I can't pass it up because I'm just still fascinated. So obviously Wild is coming out next year. Incredibly excited for it. I can't wait. But there's always that fear of having to hope that your favorite monsters will get in. I was curious if there is any monsters that you always anticipate. Doesn't matter which game in the series gets announced, you just hope they come back. I know a personal favorite for me is Brachydios, obviously starting with 3 Ultimate or 3G. The flagship sold me. I thought it was the coolest thing ever. I have loved him ever since. He's my favorite. But I'm curious if you guys have any personal favorites.
なんだろうな。
私あれ見てみたい。山つかみ。
山つかみ。
あれ見てみたい。
山つかみね。 まあ私はそうだな、ラギアクルスか、あとは原初メルゼナ欲しいな。
Those are some really great picks. I can't even deny it. Malzeno too. I keep forgetting he's new, but several people love that design. It's incredible.
Yes.
Absolutely agree.
So cool.
I guess in general, for someone like me or maybe other people in the chat that are casual players, maybe they want to start playing competitive or really dig into what the game has to offer, you know, time-wise or arena quests and really learning how the game plays. Do you guys have any personal tips or like starting points? Is it just more so about picking a weapon and learning it, or maybe more so focusing on the monster themselves, maybe some items that they don't use, like let's say sonic bombs? I think when I first played, I ignored them on certain monsters and I realized they're incredibly useful. Is there any good starting point for players that, you know, might want to improve their game?
難しいなこれ。
やっぱタチじゃない？
タチじゃない？タチか。
ロングソードでしょ？
まあそうね。まあとりあえずタチで現象メルゼナ倒せるようになってからかな。それからスタートかな。
But listen, I expect nothing less from a team called Team LS. They know what they want. They know absolutely what they're going to do. But I do have the final question, which is probably the easiest of them all. What are you here to do? Are you here to win or are you here to lose?
ああ、これ私答えていい？
いいよ。
美しく勝つため。
うわ
でこれできなかったらまずいね。
やばいって。
やばいねこれ。
プレッシャーになった。
I love it. Winning is not enough. It's got to be done the right way. Longsword has to be the coolest one there for sure.
Yeah.
Though I guess just to open up to you guys, did you guys have anything else you wanted to say? Maybe to chat or anybody that wanted to know a little bit more about you guys? Maybe things, you know, outside of the game or, you know, just anything in general?
我々を知ってもらうには Twitch の配信見てくださいって感じですか？2人とも配信してるのでよかったら見に来てください。
Smart. Gotta do the plug. I respect that so much.
Thank you.
It's been an absolute pleasure. I wish you guys nothing but the best. Even, and not just a nicety thing, as someone who loves Longsword, I'm just biased. I really hope you guys win. I'm not even kidding. But that'll pretty much do it for me. Thank you guys so much once again. We'll take it back to the commentators for the next round, but you guys have a good one. Take care, and I really appreciate it.